Today's lesson is Timothy Chalamet, a new type of leading man. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our program. I'm Roger.
And I'm Helen.
And today we're talking about a celebrity, a new actor by the name of Timothy Chalamet. And he's a new type of leading man, which means he's kind of different from the kind of leading men that we've seen in the past. Maybe he's not such a muscular, macho kind of guy, but he's still very masculine, but in a different way.
Right. He's become famous recently after he's performed in a number of independent films, and he's played complex, interesting characters. And from these performances, Timothy Chalamet has caught the attention of critics and moviegoers alike because he is a very talented actor.
Indeed, and he's kind of special because I think his father is French and his mother is Jewish. He's bilingual, speaks fluent French and English, and I guess that makes him kind of interesting as well as an actor. So let's find out some more about him now. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson, and we'll be right back.
Timothy Chalamet, a new type of leading man. 23-year-old French-American actor Timothy Chalamet is not afraid to challenge male stereotypes. This sensitive heartthrob is changing people's ideas about what a leading man should be like.
大家好，第一部分我们看到单字 stereotype， 这个字是名词，指刻板印象、成见。例如 That French waiters in Paris are rude to foreigners is nothing but a stereotype. 巴黎的法国服务生对外国人不友善，只是一个刻板印象。另外 stereotype 也可以是动词，指形成刻板印象，使变为成规。我们可以说A study finds that some American advertisements stereotype women. 某项研究指出，有些美国广告刻板化女性形象。再来，我们看到一个名词 heartthrob， 指迷人的男子，通常指影星或名人，像是 That famous male singer has been my heartthrob since I was a kid. 那名出名的男歌手是我从小迷恋的对象。
And welcome back. So today we're talking about Timothy Chalamet. He is a new type of leading man, and we're going to find out why in this lesson. And in the first sentence it says, 23-year-old French-American actor Timothy Chalamet is not afraid to challenge male stereotypes. So he's a different kind of actor, it seems, because he is different from the usual male actor. He's challenging male stereotypes, the way male actors usually are, the way they look, the way they behave. They're challenging these images of being a man.
Right. Stereotypes, of course, is what we expect to see or how we think everyone is. We've all got stereotypes about each other. Americans have stereotypes about Chinese and vice versa. So the male stereotype they may be referring to here would be somebody like, Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, a real tall guy, really muscular with a really low masculine kind of voice. So maybe that's the male stereotype, but he's not like that at all. He's challenging that stereotype, and he's still being quite successful. Now, this sensitive heartthrob is changing people's ideas about what a leading man should be like. So, heartthrob, that's like the kind of guy that girls really go gaga for.
Right. A heartthrob is usually a man who is very attractive, often a young man. They're used to refer to young film actors or pop singers, but usually for men, not women. And in my mind, I would associate heartthrob with K-pop boy band members.
Like BTS?
Yeah, like BTS, I guess.
All those guys are heartthrobs to lots of young teenage girls all over the world.
That's true. So heartthrobs usually refer to young men who are attractive, good-looking, and who project a very romantic image.
Indeed. So he's sensitive too. Okay. He's not just the macho kind of guy who doesn't express his feelings like John Wayne or something like that. This guy's actually quite sensitive, and he's changing people's ideas about what a leading man should be like. Okay. So yes, if we expect to see a leading man in a movie, we expect to see some kind of James Bond character. Okay. That brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson. Let's move on now to the second part.
Chalamet was born in New York to a Jewish mother and a French father. Growing up, he spent most of his summers in France, visiting his father's family. His time there helped him become fluent in French and connect with his French roots. His childhood dream was to become a professional soccer player, but it's not surprising that he eventually went into acting. Many of his relatives on his mother's side have worked in the film industry as filmmakers, producers, scriptwriters, and more.
第二部分我们看到单字 filmmaker 这个字是名词，指电影制作人，可指导演或制片、电影工作者。举例来说 The filmmaker chose a popular singer to play the main character in the film. 那个电影制作人选了一位出名的歌手来当这部电影的主角。接着我们看到名词 scriptwriter 意思是编剧、写剧本的人。例如I heard that the newest blockbuster movie was written by a famous scriptwriter. 我听说这部最新卖座强片是出自一位名编剧的手。
And welcome to the second part of our lesson. We're talking about Timothée Chalamet, a new type of actor with a new image that he's projecting. So let's look at the background of Timothée Chalamet. He was born in New York to a Jewish mother and a French father. So he's born with two cultures behind him. His mother is Jewish, his father is French. And growing up, he spent most of his summers in France visiting his father's family. So that's an interesting background.
What a great opportunity. You can spend the rest of the year in New York learning English and Spanish maybe, and then you can go to the French Riviera and have yourself a good time there learning French or brushing up on your French. So I guess he's bilingual, and because it says his mother's Jewish, maybe he learned some Hebrew as well.
Right. That's certainly an interesting background. And of course, growing up in New York, a city that has people from everywhere, it's a multicultural city, he definitely has not just an American perspective on things, probably, but a very international way of looking at life. So his time in France, however, helped him become fluent in French and connect with his French roots. So going back to France every year during the summer, he was able to brush up on his French, speak French while he was there, and this has helped him become fluent. So when you're fluent in a language, it means you're able to speak that language pretty well. Some people are fluent in more than one language, not just their native language, but in another language also. So a person can be fluent in 2 or 3 languages.
Yes, a friend of mine is married to a Japanese man, so of course their children are all fluent in both Chinese and Japanese, etc., etc. And so here, because he was able to spend time in France and because his father was French, he is fluent in French, and he would spend his summers in France connecting with his French roots. He would continue to remind himself what it means to be French, to do things the way the French people do, to enjoy their wine and cheese and enjoy reading French literature and enjoying French artists and things like that, whatever it means to be French.
Right. So having spent a lot of time in Europe, he also was influenced by European culture, French culture, and there soccer is a big thing, maybe less so in America. So his childhood dream was to become a professional soccer player, but it's not surprising that he eventually went into acting. So when he was a child, when he was younger, he wanted to be a professional soccer player, which means he didn't want to play soccer just as a hobby. He wanted to do it as a job, as a career. But it wasn't really going to be in the cards because he eventually went into acting.
Yes, of course, there are only a limited amount of positions available in soccer clubs worldwide. worldwide. So lots and lots of boys out there try really hard to become professional soccer players. But you got to be realistic, boys. You know, only a few get to be at the top there. So you've got to have plan B. So, of course, he did have his plan B here, which became acting, and so it's not surprising that he eventually went into acting. Well, since I can't be a professional soccer player, I might as well try acting, which isn't easy either. It's not very easy to become a professional actor as well, but eventually, finally, after a period of time, he did take up acting, and now he's successful.
Right here, the word eventually means after a period of time or after a long time. For instance, I could say he became less and less interested in his job and eventually quit. So after a period of time, he quit his job. So for most people, going into acting might be very difficult as becoming a professional athlete. But in Timothy's case, it was not that difficult. He had an advantage because many of his relatives on his mother's side have worked in the film industry as filmmakers, producers, scriptwriters, and more. So on his mother's side, he already had a lot of relatives or has a lot of relatives who worked in the film industry and making movies.
Relatives, those are people who are related to you, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your grandparents, and stuff like that. Those are all your relatives. I guess technically your siblings are your relatives too, your parents are too, but you wouldn't refer to them that way. When I see the word relative or relatives, I always think of, cousins, uncles, things like that. So lots of his relatives on his mother's side have worked in the film industry. They're filmmakers, they make films, they direct films, they produce them, and they also write the scripts. That's what a scriptwriter is. And they've done other things too, maybe recording sound or working in the backgrounds or doing props or whatever. He had, a lot of opportunities to take up acting there.
Right. So it was already something in his family. Maybe he had it in his blood. So making films, being an actor was second nature to him, and being a professional soccer player wasn't. So that's how he got into acting, more or less.
Well, maybe he'll act in a movie as a soccer player in the future. Who knows? Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's move on to the third part. We'll listen first.
Chalamet attended a top honors program in middle school, but he found the 3 years there miserable because he missed having a creative outlet. Everything changed after he was accepted into a high school for the arts. It was there that he fell in love with acting. In his teens, he had small roles in TV series and even made his first stage appearance in an off-Broadway play. At 19, he broke into feature films with a role in Men, Women, and Children, and later also acted in Interstellar.
第三部分，我们看到单字 outlet 这个字是名词，指施展、发挥才华的机会，发泄情绪的途径，像是 Gina thinks the job doesn't provide an outlet for her talents. Gina 认为这个工作没有让她施展才华的机会。再举一个例子 If you are feeling restless, exercise is a great outlet for excess energy. 如果你觉得静不下来，运动是发泄过剩精力的好方法。另外 outlet 也可以指电源插座，例如 I can't find an electrical outlet to charge my cell phone battery. 我找不到电源插座来帮我的手机充电。再来，我们看到一个单字 series， 这个字是名词，指电视系列节目、影集。例如The new television series is about the life of a typical American family. 新播出的电视节目讲的是典型美国家庭。另外补充一个相关片语 a series of 表示一系列、一连串，像是 There were a series of lightning strikes during the violent storm. 强烈暴风雨来袭期间，接连出现了好几次闪电。最后我们看到片语 break into表示开始从事进入某个行业。举例来说 Rachel moved to Hollywood because she wants to break into the movie business. Rachel 搬到好莱坞，因为她想要进入电影界。另外 break into 还有以下两种意思。第一，指打断、闯入。例如 Marge and I were talking, but then Troy broke into our conversation. Marge 和我正在讲话，但后来 Troy 打断我们的谈话。第二，指突然开始点点点。例如 When the little boy saw his birthday present, his face broke into a big smile. 小男孩看到他的生日礼物时，脸上突然露出灿烂笑容。
And welcome back. So today we're looking at Timothée Chalamet, the young actor who has become famous recently, the actor who was born in New York City, and he attended high school, middle school there. Now it says here, Chalamet attended a top honors program in middle school, but he found the 3 years there miserable because he missed having a creative outlet. So even though he was attending a prestigious middle school, a middle school for students who did particularly well in their courses because it was a school with an honors program, he didn't feel like he was particularly happy in this school because he didn't have a creative outlet. He didn't have an outlet to express his creative talent, his creative side. So to feel very unhappy, another way to say to feel very unhappy is to say that you are miserable. You are miserable in this situation. You are very unhappy in this situation.
And outlet here just means a way to release yourself. Maybe he had this built up inside. I want to be an actor. I want to be an artist. And I'd like to have this outlet. I'd like to have this way to express myself. But if you're in an honors program, then they probably discourage that.
Right. So he was in this middle school, which lasted 3 years, that emphasized the traditional subjects like math and science and social studies, maybe. And he was miserable there. But when he went to high school, everything changed because he was accepted into a high school for the arts.
Exactly. One that specialized in the arts, which could be painting and sculpture and stuff like that, but also performing arts, drama, ballet, music, etc., etc. So it was there that he fell in love with acting. So all of those things are going to be available at a performing arts high school. So yes, acting was one of the fields that was offered there. So he fell in love with acting. I love this. I want to be an actor in the future. So in his teens, he had small roles in TV series and even made his first stage appearance in an off-Broadway play. So in his teens, we could also say when he was a teenager, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, when he was a young adult, you could say, he was able to get some roles in TV shows or in TV series. Here, series is both singular and plural. TV series or a mini TV series, which is a series of TV programs that have the same actors and the same kind of situation and the same kind of theme, but you have new episodes every week. So he got some small roles, not big ones, but small roles. So he got his foot in the door, and he was also able to be in an off-Broadway play.
Right, so he had a few small roles on TV, and he also appeared in off-Broadway plays. So what does off-Broadway mean? Broadway in New York City is an avenue. It's a very long street, but it also refers to the area where all of the theaters are, where you go to see plays and musicals. And all of the important plays and musicals take place in theaters on Broadway, literally on Broadway Avenue. But the smaller plays and musicals might take place off-Broadway, which are theaters that are near Broadway, but not exactly on Broadway.
Maybe on some of the side streets or side alleys or something, and the theaters are smaller. So again, you need to start somewhere. So he got a stage appearance in an off-Broadway play, and at the age of 19, he broke into feature films with a role in Men, Women, and Children, and later also acted in Interstellar. I've heard of the latter one there, Interstellar. What was that one? That was with Matthew McConaughey or something like that, where they travel to another planet because Earth is dying and they go through a wormhole or something like that. So those are examples of feature films. A feature film, of course, is a major Hollywood blockbuster. Not necessarily from Hollywood, though. It could be a film from anywhere, from Britain, from India, Japan, Japan or whatever. These would be feature films that get wide distribution and lots of people get to see them.
Right, so when he was 19, Timothy broke into feature films, which means at 19 he started to have success in feature films. The phrasal verb break into often refers to the music industry, the film industry, or entertainment. You break into music, you break into film. It means to begin to have success in that area. And it's true that many actors that start off in Broadway or off-Broadway in New York often make their way across to Hollywood, to the West, and have success there. Because if you can act on stage in front of a live audience, chances are you're a pretty good actor and you will do well in front of the camera.
Right, so of course you want to get your first opportunity and you want to be accepted, you want to be recognized, so you can break into feature films. And once that happens, you'll probably get more jobs in the future. I did want to say that this phrase break into has a couple of other meanings. Break into means you actually go inside someone's home to steal something. Of course, we don't encourage that. My house was broken into last night and someone stole my computer. Also, if you're talking about musicals, when people are talking in dialogues, suddenly one of them will break into song. Tonight won't be just any night. Someone will break into song, of course, in musicals. Sorry for torturing all of you like that. I do need to brush up on my singing skills. But that does bring us to the end of today's discussion about Timothée Chalamet. Please join us again next time. But before we say goodbye, we'd like to hear from our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。今天的课文是在介绍法裔美国演员提摩西·夏勒梅。好，那么课文第二部分提到他的成长过程中，暑假大部分都是去法国看爸爸那一边的家人，因此讲了一口流利的法文。好，这边用到一个单字叫 fluent， 我们来学它的字根 flu。 好，同学们听到 flu F-L-U 也许就会想到流感嘛。Flu 当单字的时候，它是 influenza 的缩写，表示流行性感冒。可是 flu 当字根呢，它则是有这个 flow 流动的意思。有一些单字里面，它可能会被拼作 F-L-U-C、F-L-U-V、F-L-U-X 等等。那在 fluent 这个字当中 ，flu 表示流动，那么 E-N-T 它是形容词字尾，合在一起Fluent 就是形容流利的、流畅的。如果把字尾 ENT 改成名词字尾 ENCY， 就会变成名词 fluency。Fluency 表示流畅或是流利度。好，顺便补充几个有相同字根的单字。第一个是 influence。Influence 它是拼作 I-N-F-L-U-E-N-C-E， 它的字首 I-N 表示进入。那么 flu。F-L-U 这部分表示流动，后面的 E-N-C-E 是名词字尾。好，流动进入是什么意思呢？同学们试着想想看，如果是工厂他们把有色废水排进河流，河流的颜色是不是会被慢慢受到影响呢？所以从这边这种流动进入，然后被影响了颜色啊，被影响到什么，从这边来联想到 influence 它有影响的意思。好，第二个单字叫做 affluent。A-F-F-L-U-E-N-T。 好 affluent 它的字首 A-F 是来自 A-D， 表示朝向，因为 A-D 它碰到 F 开头的字根，它就拼成 A-F 了。好，那至于字根 flu 表示流动，后面再加上 E-N-T 是形容词字尾。好，什么叫做朝向流动？同学们可以试着联想，当所有的财富都往你那边朝向你那边流过去，你是不是会变得很有钱呢？所以 affluent 这个形容词它就有富裕的意思，就跟这个 rich 或是 wealthy 差不多。好，第三个单字是 confluence， C-O-N-F-L-U-E-N-C-E， 它的字首 C-O-N 表示一起， flu 表示流动，那 E-N-C-E 是名词字尾，一起流动到某个地方，那就表示那个地方是汇流处，所以 confluence 这个字可以表达河流汇流的地方。好，课文下一句提到说，这位演员他的童年梦想是要成为职业的足球员，那童年的英文是 childhood， 我们就顺便来学这个字尾 hood hood 的不同意思。好，首先它是名词字尾，可以表达时期，像 childhood 孩子的时期，那就是童年咯。还有 adulthood成年人的时期，那就表示是成年期。好，另外 hood 这个字尾还可以表达状态、情况或是性质，像 likelihood Likelihood 它就是由 likely 表示可能的，后面再搭配 hood 表示状态， likelihood 表示可能性。还有像 falsehood falsehood 好，这个字它是由 false 形容假的、谬误的、不真实的，然后加上 hood 表示情形，合在一起 falsehood 就表示虚假、谬误或是谎言。至于你可能有看过 brotherhood、sisterhood 等等这些字，它们当中的这个 hood 表示具有相同属性啊，拥有共同情况的个体们。那么 brotherhood 它就是指兄弟关系、手足之情，或者是可以指兄弟会。那么 sisterhood 可以指姐妹情谊，或者是姐妹会、妇女会之类的。好，那么以上是这些重点整理，我们回顾今天的单字吧。
Stereotype.Paige gave a speech about how gender stereotypes are harmful both at home and in the workplace. Fluent. Despite studying German for several years, Harold still isn't fluent in the language. Professional. I know your cousin enjoys taking photographs, but I want to hire a professional photographer for the event. Eventually. Chase eventually saved up enough money to buy the new phone he wanted. Relative.When I arrive in Manila, I plan to stay with one of my relatives there. Miserable. Grace felt miserable for a long time after her boyfriend broke up with her. Series. The TV series wasn't very popular, so it got canceled after only one season.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.